So how to bring a sustainability idea to life? That was the kind of brief that we were set. And we've broken it down into kind of 3 different areas. And the first area is to firstly understand your context. And I think a lot of ideas and innovations are kind of sparked from someone realizing a problem, or there's like an issue in the world and they want to solve that issue. So that is mainly and mostly where we kind of start with our ideas for sustainability. And you might have like one perception of what that problem is, but it's really important to kind of go out into your wider circle and ask other people what their perception of that problem is as well, because it's really important to kind of understand everyone's perspectives on that issue. The second point is around breaking down that kind of larger target into smaller, more manageable steps. And this is very relevant to us at the moment because at Dr. Martens, we've recently set a commitment to be net zero by 2040. So this means that we want to reduce our carbon emissions to 0 by 2040, which is an absolutely massive task to undertake. And for us, what we've done is we've kind of looked at that kind of long-term end goal and worked backwards at the different steps that we know that we can kick off and kind of make progress towards that. So we've broken it down into more manageable, smaller projects that will help us get to that longer term aim. And that is a really kind of useful ethos to take throughout any project that you're working on, because, you know, you could have an amazing idea that you've kind of realized from that problem you've encountered, but how do you get to that endpoint? Well, breaking it down into manageable steps and taking that first step forward is often the most challenging part, but you know, once you get going, hopefully there'll be no stopping you. And then the third point is finding people who can help you. So, you know, it's really important to get a circle of people around you that can advise you. You're not going to be an expert on everything. So it's important to find those people that are experts in those topics that you might need a little bit more help on. You know, if you're not the best at maths, find a friend who's really good at maths and ask if they want to help you out. If they don't want to be involved, you know, too heavily, that's fine, but you can still go to them for advice.
So there's some really fantastic tips, but to show we're not just all talk, here's how we've actually gone ahead and done that with Genix Napper that we showed in the video earlier. So first of all, it all started with what the problem was that we were trying to solve. And for us, we use a lot of leather in our boots and shoes. And in the process of making leather, there's a lot of waste that can be generated throughout that whole process. And so we looked at all that waste and we thought, this is not something that we want to be associated with. We want to make sure that it doesn't end up going to landfill or incinerated. We want to make sure that that kind of waste is used as a resource and turned into boots and shoes into the future as well. So there was our problem. And we talked to lots of other brands about that as well, because everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of footwear brands use leather because it's a fantastic material for footwear. So everyone's experiencing this same kind of problem around leather waste. Then we had to sit down and decide what does winning really look like for us in this space. And Jess mentioned that we have our big target of net zero by 2040. So that's what we're really aiming for. But the smaller target along the way around waste is that we want to make sure that we have zero waste going to landfill by 2028. So at this point, we know we've got a problem, we know we've got some waste, and we know that we don't want to let it go to landfill in any scenario. So therefore, we want to find a way in which we can recycle that waste into a new material. Now, Dr. Martens is really good at making shoes, but we're not very good at recycling leather yet. So we had to go out there and talk to people and understand who could help us recycle this leather waste in a material that could be really useful for us. So we found a partner who are based here in the UK, in Peterborough, called Generation Phoenix. And they're a company that specialise in grinding up that leather waste that you saw in the video and turning it into this new Genix Napper material that we're using today.